This is how it arrived in bits. I've just opened it up. Came in a cardboard box, bubble wrapped, but obviously sort of got damaged in transit. Every part of it is fallen apart. It's all come loose. The plaster of Paris which holds it together isn't well, not designed for carriage, I suppose, in that, well, not in that stupid box anyway. And it's such a shame. It's not that just that it's fallen apart, which is easy to glue. The actual bits have cracked and smashed, and I've collected a lot of bits and pieces here, which stupidly I kind of want to put back together. It's not like these clocks are worth a fortune, but it's almost like a challenge. It's almost a shame. This thing is, I don't know, 100 odd years old, and just to throw it away like that just seems such a shame. So I may possibly start or make an attempt to restore this. Bits like this I can just glue back together. That's not too much of a headache, but some of the pieces were really smashed up badly. In particular this piece, which is a platform that goes across there. So it was broken off in sort of quite a few places, and glued it back together using super glue, and where the pieces had crumbled I was using this stuff, Milliput. Just to give you a close-up of this clock, it's a lovely thing. It just needed a service when I bought it off of eBay. As I say, when it arrived, it was wrapped in bubble wrap and plastic bag. That was never going to survive transit, and so it's all come to pieces. As I say, for the most part, it's just a lot of gluing. Some of these pieces I've already glued back together. You can see this pillar here was joined in 3 places, but it's kind of cracked on natural fault lines, so when I eventually put it back together you won't even notice those ones. And these bits again, there's some corners missing, which I'll build up with Milliput. I'll go on somewhere like that. I don't know for sure how it goes, I'll have to look back on eBay, but there's other parts which are perfect and they just need polish up and putting back together. Simple glue. This is going to be like a jigsaw puzzle, trying to work out where all the little bits go. Luckily, I love jigsaw puzzles, so it should be fun. The tricky bit is you kind of want to join the little pieces onto the bigger pieces first, because if I just stuck that on there and then put that bit on there, which I know that's where they go, then I find like, oh god, like I should have put that in first. So really I've got to try and find where all the little bits and pieces go and make bigger bits out of the smaller bits and then glue them all together. That goes there like that. And all I'm going to do is super glue. Should hold it together. Alright, there you go. Just hold that together for a little bit. here are a few little bits that I've glued together. Not pretty, but at least I've got the overall shape, and I think when I fill it, it should look okay. I'm hoping the super glue will hold, because often super glue isn't that super. It doesn't stick and hold everything like it advertises. Right.
We're putting some fish fingers in because we ain't eating all day. Do you want some?
Fish fingers
sandwich.
I like shit food though, isn't it?
It is, but it ain't that bad. It is literally just fish and batter. It's not the worst thing. Well, we're having a mare because we're trying to. What do you have for lunch? There's nothing in the house. So it's the only thing we actually came to besides eggs or pasta or a sandwich. Don't make me smash my phone.
What? I'll go on and have whatever you're having there. She didn't smash my phone. This is really clever what I've done, because I've strengthened this really well, like so well that you alright?
Yeah. Are you going to have fish fingers with them?
Yeah, alright.
You want the fish fingers?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Because they're soup, I mean, if you didn't.
No, that's alright.
You sure?
Yeah, just
All
eat
right.
whatever they're eating.
Okay.
Food is a big thing in this house. Seems to be all we talk about. So this is the only stuff I know of for repairing. Well, they recommend it for slate. It's a bit slow to go off. Be nice to have something that you could just mix that goes off instantaneously, but this will do for now. And it's just literally cutting off equal amounts. And then just kneading them together for about 5 minutes until it all blends in properly, and it goes a bit softer as well. It becomes more workable once you've kneaded it for a while. Right, this is gone nice and soft and well mixed now. So what I need to do is just dust out any of the dust from the cracks. I'm going to spray some isopropyl on there. You don't have to do that, that's just me being a bit OCD, but I want to make sure that it's super clean when I put the putty on. It's quite good actually, liking places where the crack was really clean, you can hardly see the join. As I say, I'm more, let's put that to keep it clean, I'm more concentrating on the areas which are showing than the area like this where nothing's really going to be seen. Having said that, I am going to try to make it all be nice. And I'm just using this metal spreader to really get this stuff pressed in. Right, for the sanding I'm going to use this thing. It's a bit overkill. It's what I used to use when I used to work on cars years ago for rubbing down the body. But yeah, still it works really well because it's got a really good orbital action on this compared to some of the usual DIY stuff that you buy from B&Q and whatever. I'm going to try it out with, well, it's a bit of 320 on there. It's not too rough. I'm going to have a go with that first of all, and if that doesn't work I'll just change the papers and maybe go with something slightly coarser and work my way downwards. No, that don't seem to be doing much. I'll try a slightly stronger grit. I'm going to go for this 120 grit, I think, and then just work my way downwards. Here we go. Right, that's feeling nice and smooth now. I can't feel the cracks with my fingers, but I can feel where it needs places like that. You can feel it with your fingers as you go over them, but in other places perfectly smooth. So basically what I've got to do is mix up a little bit more of that putty and fill it in, and have to wait at least 24 hours for that to go off properly, and then give it a final sanding, and then it'll be ready to work with. Now that all the small pieces have been repaired, I'm ready to complete the clock. I like to use silicone for this, particularly clear silicone when I've got it at home, as it gives me enough time to adjust and align the pieces once I've joined them all onto the main body of the clock. It takes around 24 hours for this to go off, but when it has gone off it's a really good and strong glue. Yes, it's not plaster of Paris, but this time I want the clock to last. Right, so I've finished the clock case, putting it back together, repairing it. So I'll let this dry, and tomorrow I'm going to give it a really good clean up with soapy water, and then I'm going to try out a new stuff that I've come across. Slate blacking, Mar Black. This is different to the original stuff I used in one of my first videos. This is almost like an inky type of product, which doesn't so much put on a layer as it soaks in. Pretty much what I was trying to do with the shoe polish, but maybe there's a version of what I was trying to do all along and I wasted my time. Right, I've allowed the silicone to dry overnight, and the clock is now all properly glued and strong. I've given it a wash with a bit of fairy liquid and a soft cloth to get off any grease from the slate. And now the next job will be to mask off the marble areas, and then I'm going to go over it and try out this Mar Black. Never tried this stuff before, and see what kind of finish this gives us on the marble. clock is now prepared for painting. Just finished masking it off and used a scalpel to cut in the masking tape really tightly. And as I said, I'm going to use this Marblack, which I haven't used in the past, and I've had good reports on it, and I'm hoping that it's going to turn out for the way that I want it to. The first thing I find is this stuff is a lot thinner than the other thing that I used, which was called slate blacking before. This one actually feels like it's an ink-like substance which draws into the fabric of the slate, which is a better finish for me. I don't like the finishes whereby they look like they've been painted with a paintbrush or something like that. This in fact really is like a watered down shoe polish, which is exactly what I was looking for when I created my idea about shoe polishing and heating it as such. This was going on really smoothly. It was actually quite a pleasure to work with this. It wasn't sticky or dragging or anything like that. And I could already see what the end result was going to begin to look like. Obviously, while I'm putting it on, it's going to dry off and go dull, but the final polish will bring back up the shine like boot polish. Using a paintbrush to get into all the little crevices so that there's nothing left untouched. Using a paintbrush gets it to soak in between the joins as well. And there's the finished painted article. All I've got to do now is wait for it to dry and give it a good polish. This is the clock 90% finished. I haven't bothered showing you when I'm polishing it up and whatever else, because I think I've done that in some other videos and it's just pointless. Also, I didn't bother showing you when I rebuilt or refurbished the mechanism. Again, that's in some of my other videos, and once you've repaired one clock mechanism, you know, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. But the finished article is really, really lovely. Considering what it looked like on the day it arrived back then at my office, and I was so disheartened. But somehow I knew that I wanted to bring this back to life. I wanted to give it another chance, and it works lovely. The only final thing which I'm just messing around with at the moment, oh there you go, 4:30, is a piece of glass, because that was broken as well, or was it missing? Anyway, I've managed to cut a circle of glass, but this bezel isn't 100% round, so I'm having to grind the glass to make it fit the bezel, and that will be the finishing touch. And as usual, I've touched in all the engravings as I do, and again, as you would have seen on some of my other videos. But as far as the finish article is concerned, it is lovely. You'll see here there's you can see that, you know, there are places where I've done some repairs, but considering what it was like and what it looks like now, overall I'm massively pleased with what I've got here. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. For me it's nice because I've given something a new lease of life. Maybe it will last. I think there are actually about 140 years old, this clock. I said 100 in the beginning, and maybe it's got another 140 years worth of life in it again. It's quite a satisfying thing to do. Wish you all well, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my videos, and I'll be shortly uploading some more.